My name is Marcel de Kok. I would like to thank the audience for watching, and I would like to welcome you to this Colored Amber live stream. Um, Today we are going to talk with the creators of the documentary and some of the participants of it. And the guests that will join us tonight are Andras Pistravec, the director of the documentary. We have Simon J. Wolf, the author of the Amber Revolution book. We have Walter Kramer from the Hisham Franco restaurant. And we have Mojca Mavec, who's a journalist and a traveler, and a big wine fan, as how I understood. Um, Before we begin, if you have any questions, you can post them as a comment in the Facebook event. And after the stream, we will take some time to answer them, and we can go into a little dialogue there. Before we begin with the interviews, I would also like to invite everybody to check the website of the documentary, which you can find online on colledamber.com. Here you can see the trailer again. And it's also possible to donate to the project to help us finish it off, which would be very well appreciated. Okay, so I think now it's time for some questions for our guest of today. And first, I would like to begin with Andras. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, to kick it off, I think that the thing everybody wants to know is, can you tell us what the movie is all about?
Okay, so hi everybody. We started this project or filming of this movie in January 2019, so last year, and we are now in post-production phase. This documentary, called it Amber, is a documentary about skin contact white wines. So these are wines that are made from white grapes that are not directly pressed. So we leave the grapes on their skins, to ferment. And there are really three places in the world that have really strong tradition of skin macerated white wines. These are Georgia, Slovenia, and Italy. So why it's so important? Who's drinking it? And is the future bright for this beverage? These are only the few questions that will be answered, hopefully. Not hopefully. It will be answered in this documentary. So if you want, we prepared the trailer if you want to see it.
I think everybody is very curious about that. So I would say let's start it up.
So you know what I discovered recently? Wines that people call white wines.
Wines are not just names on the list, they have histories, they have cultures.
Because they opened up like a different palette.
Each place has its own terroir, its own endemic variety.
I love nature wines and I particularly enjoy amber wines.
That was the trailer. Well, that looks very nice. I look forward to see the rest. Can't wait till it's finished. Yeah, well, then we go on to the second question we have for you. When do you expect the documentary to be finished? When can we all watch it?
So it's...
Oh, sorry. That was actually what I want to ask. What do you want to achieve when it's released?
So it's okay.
Yeah.
We want to educate people. So about this style, about white macerated wines. So that's not something new. That's really ancient. People were making these wines for thousands of years. They are not made from oranges. They're made from white grapes. Can you buy it in the supermarket? Probably not, because they are really small producers, artisan producers. And I think that every wine lover should know what is skin contact orange or amber wine. So we want to bring this film to life because we need to spread the word about this type of production so people will know what we are talking about.
Yeah, so it's more like a promotional and an educative purpose to get people a better understanding of yeah, what macerated white wine is. Yeah, super interesting. Looking forward to it. Well, then we're going to go to the third question, which I mixed up before. So, yeah, like you said, it's an ongoing process. You are in post-production. What are your expectations? When is it going to be finished, and when can people see it?
So it's we're in post-production. So I need to say that this is non-profit project, and not everything can we do in-house. So we will try to start the Kickstarter campaign in September, and we hope that we will get funded and get this funding necessary to finish the project as soon as possible. So we want to premiere this movie this year, I think. Okay, so you can donate also on our webpage, as you said earlier. So every donation counts.
Yeah, well, let's hope the Kickstarter will be good success, because I think everybody is looking forward to see a documentary. When I look on your Instagram profile and you see the little snippets you put online with the interviews of all the winemakers, it looks all very good in my opinion, very well shot, very professional. So I think it's going to be a great document. So let's hope it's going to be a success for my part. Yeah, then I have last question for you. How did you choose the protagonists that are joining us today in the stream?
Okay.
For the documentary.
So this was quite a ride, to be honest. So do you know this book?
I do.
You do? Okay, me too. So I really enjoyed watching Simon Wolf, who wrote this book that he got founded on his Kickstarter. It was really an amazing job that he did. And that's why I wanted Simon on our team. So we met Simon on January 2019 in Amsterdam on Wine Professional. And this was our first meeting. This book at that time was really hard to get. You know, it was, I think that I ordered one from Book Depository and never came. So I was really happy to that I could bought this book from him, and he was really interested in the project. So he helped us a lot with the script. We traveled a lot last year. So we visited a lot of wine festivals. We were together in Georgia, discovered the roots of this wine. But there was something that I didn't knew, you know, when I first met Simon. I didn't know that he was a really good actor, you know. So this was the first step that I took, and that was done, and I was really thrilled. So Walter Kramer, he's a sommelier, a wine director and owner of Fischer Franco in Kubarit, and the last development, it was Fischer Franco is first restaurant in Slovenia that got 2 Michelin stars. So we are really proud. And he's one of the few people that have put those wines on their wine list. Those wines were really hard to sell, didn't sell at the time that he was started to promote those wines. So that was more than 20 years ago. I remember our first meeting. It was Walter was sitting in front of Fischer Franco, and he said, "I have 30 minutes for you," you know, and I needed to do everything in 30 minutes. So this meeting ended 8 hours later in Fischer Polomka. So it was really amazing day, and best day I had in a long time. So I'm sorry because we had no time to take a photo. So I have no photo for that that meeting. So here I'm with 2 experts, so a writer and really world famous sommelier. But I needed to balance everything, you know, the energy of band and everything. So here comes Mojca Mavec. You know, she's a traveler, a journalist, a big wine lover, and really well-known face on Slovenian national TV. And the thing is that look at her hair. You see, I think she's really perfect for this film. And the thing that was first meeting with Mojca was in really well-known restaurant in Ljubljana, and there we bumped into Joško Grauner. It was I didn't know, it was really amazing. You know, we were sitting at the bar and talking about the film, and then Joško comes in. You know, and I think that was the sign that this movie needs to be done. And Mojca, I think it was 14 days before we left to Georgia, she joined our team. So this is our A team, Amber team, Walter, Mojca, and Simon. So thank you all three of you, to be part of this story. I'm really enjoying working with you on this documentary, and of course you Marcel, thank you for hosting our first stream. And I think that now officially you are part of our A team.
Thank you. Cheers on that, even though I'm drinking water today. But
I'm actually drinking Radicon from Grauner's glass. Nice combination.
Whatever works. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for your answers. It's very nice to have this insight from your part. Yeah, great. And then I would like to introduce the next guest, which is Simon, the author of the inspirational book Amber Revolution. Hi, Simon.
Hey, Marcel. How you doing?
How are you doing tonight? Yeah, I'm
Good.
fine. We're doing an interview.
Are we? Oh.
Yeah. Now
okay.
it's your turn. So yeah, let's go on with it. As we all know, you wrote the Amber Revolution book, which for Andras was a huge inspiration to make the documentary. Can you tell us why you decided to write the book and how it all came to be?
Sure. And the simple answer is that I just wrote the book that I wanted, basically, because I think, let's see, where are we now? 2020. So 9 years ago, I first started discovering orange wines, amber wines, whatever. And I was absolutely fascinated by this. I could see that it's obviously a long tradition and there's a lot of culture behind it, but I didn't really understand it. And so I thought, well, it must be a good book. It must be something I can find. So I went on Amazon and had a search, typed in orange wine, typed in Friuli, Burda, whatever. Nothing came up. And I thought, oh, come on, that can't be right. Surely someone has to have written a book about this. I mean, there are all these great wines out there. But no, there really wasn't anything I could read. And I was desperate to read more about it, to understand where this all came from, really, and why people still make wine in this way today. So after a few years of kind of feeling a bit disappointed and searching around on the internet for information, I think the idea slowly came to me that if this book doesn't exist and no one else seems to be writing it, maybe I have to write it. So I kind of came to that decision around about 2014, I think, and then it took me another 4 years to actually complete the research. Nobody wanted to publish it, but I knew that there was an audience by then. I knew that there are people like me all around the world who love drinking these wines. So I was pretty sure if I could get it in print, if I could get it funded, then it would have an audience, and that turned out to be true, actually. So it's been really great to see how much love there is for these wines in literally every corner of the globe.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, I agree that turned into a success, and it was fantastic to read it, and also for myself, it was highly inspirational. So yeah. Next question. What was actually the first thing that came to your mind when Andras asked you to participate in a movie?
I was actually a bit scared because I thought, why is he asking me to be in this film? And no one wants to see me in front of a camera. I thought, I imagined I'd be a kind of consultant to the film and make sure that, it was, the information was correct and all that kind of thing. But I wasn't actually imagining that I would be in front of the camera. So I kind of had to get used to that. But actually, it was turned out to be really fun. I really enjoyed it. And of course, yeah, I was excited, and I just happy that someone's making a film about this subject, and really delighted to be involved actually. So it's been a great pleasure being involved with it, and I can't wait to see it actually, because Andras has been about it. No one really knows what this film is going to look like.
Yeah, we only have the little snippets that are on social media, like I mentioned before, and that looks very exciting, but they are all pretty short. So yeah.
No, I think actually he's made a sci-fi film about aliens that he just hasn't told anyone. So we're all going to get a big surprise when it actually gets released.
Aliens from the planet Orange. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, we have to wait and see. While shooting the movie, you attended various wine festivals. Can you maybe tell us a bit about how the wines that were tasting during that time, and how the production method of the wines that you have been tasting can differ from country to country, or even from region to region?
Sure. I mean, that's what's so interesting when you go to all these different countries that have this tradition, like Georgia or Slovenia or Italy. It's slightly different everywhere, and I think maybe Georgia is the most different, because they are literally making wine in huge, great clay pots which are buried in the ground. No one else really does that in the same way, except for Gravner, who got the idea from Georgia. So Georgia is a pretty unique tradition. It's all about clay. They also have great varieties that you really don't find anywhere else in the world. So there's a lot about Georgia that is just unique. I think Slovenia, instead of being a tradition of clay, it's more of a tradition of wood. And of course, you have different soils, you have different grape varieties. So really, everything is different, and the culture is different too. The way that people drink, the way that they taste, the food that they eat. But somehow it's all brought together. You can be in any of these countries, and you can still feel some commonality. You can feel something about people just getting together to socialize, to enjoy a good wine. That is common anywhere you go, even though all the other parts of it are different.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And of course, that in a way, all these regions with all their difference are actually also interconnected by a similar style of wine that we are covering in the documentary.
Well, they are, and the thing is, one of the reasons that they are is that actually this style of making wine, it's the simplest thing that you can do. If you don't have any technology, if you don't have a wine press, anything else, this is what you do. You throw the grapes in, skins, everything, hope for the best. And so, there's a reason why this tradition is so old, because it's simple. But simple doesn't mean bad.
Definitely not. Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah. Okay, Simon, thank you very much for your explanation. We look forward to your parts in the documentary, because I'm sure you are explaining way much more there. So, let's see how that is going to turn out when it's being released. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, then I would like to go to our next guest of tonight, which is Walter Kramer of Vision Franco. Like Andras already pointed out, it's the first restaurant in Slovenia that got 2 Michelin stars. So congratulations for that. And I thought it would also be nice to tell people who aren't aware that Vision Franco was actually also on the famous Netflix show Chef's Table season 2, episode 5, which was very nice to watch. So those two things together are quite outstanding. That was I really like to see the episode. So hi, Walter. Good evening.
Hi.
Can you maybe?
Hi.
Can you maybe tell us a little bit more about the locations where the movie has been shot, where you have been?
the movie was hello everybody who watch us, and I'm so proud to be in this conversation. So the movie was shoot everywhere where was something very, very important of the story of the natural wines. So a lot of exhibitions in Italy, in France, in England, UK, and most important was our region. So here our friends who was pioneer of the amber wines and skin contact white wines from area of Gorizia, Nova Gorizia, Gorizka Brda, also the part of Italy. And a very beautiful travel it was in Georgia. So Georgia was something what I planned long time to go, and Amber, call it Amber. It was the documentary. It was some occasion with which I was there. So I was so happy, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, Georgia must be a fascinating place. I also look forward to go there. I was planning to go there, but unfortunately Zero Compromise was cancelled this year. But must indeed be a fascinating destination. Yeah, during the process and while visiting all these places, did you meet any interesting people there?
For me, I don't know, the France, Italy, and our region I know very well. So I start to speak again about Georgia. So in Georgia, I meet in the Zero Compromise Festival really a lot of interesting wine producers, which they did the wine before only for the friends and for themselves, but now they used to make the wine also for the commercial way. About Georgia, I know everything already before, because Joško Grauner always explain the stories about Georgia and all the philosophy of this kind of wine. So I was there. I was already prepared, no? But for me, it was the place where I meet mostly important people, the crazy small sellers with amazing and very good natural wine and amber wines.
Yeah, you mean that there are so many little local producers in Georgia that are all actually outstanding?
Yeah, everybody says me then the people, the normal people that I meet in the street, or I start to talk with the taxi driver, with the driver. So everyone in the restaurant, so this kind of wine they drink always. So they go directly to these small producers, and they took the barrel of the wine from the amphora, and they used to drink this wine because they believe to that one. No, industry is completely opposite. It's another side, and nothing else than the beautiful and crazy good story, which. I was so happy and proud. They start to bottle that kind of wine and they export, which is not easy for that moment. But they start to expand this wine everywhere in the world. And now the people who like the skin contact wines and amphora wines, they have possibility to try them. I found them in Singapore. I found them in New York. I found them everywhere.
Yeah, it's totally spreading. That's very interesting because, like you say, for Georgian people, it is actually the local basic wine they drink, which is a highly interesting and expressive product. And then, it spreads everywhere, and it's because it's highly popular and people appreciate it in many corners of the world. Yeah. Yeah, fantastic. Well, for this moment, these are actually the only questions we have for you. So I would like to thank you for your answers, and maybe we see you later in another interview we are going to broadcast.
Amazing, thank you. But I'm so happy for the documentary because I'm very proud for the Andras and Studio Alt. They start to make this documentary. They was very professional. They know what they did, and I'm sure the documentary will be a fantastic for everyone who want to know a little more about wine which is orange or amber color. So we did in Hisha Franco already years ago. We promote this wine, so for me it's nothing new. And also our guests, they come now. They are prepared to drink the skin contact white wines and less sulfite or without sulfite. And I spoke with many people, so many people believe then 60 or 80% in 10 years will be natural wine in the world. Not because the wine producers want, but the market will want.
Yeah, people will get more aware. Yeah, because actually when you have some sense for wine and you taste a natural wine, which is low on sulfur, and you have a little bit of good senses, you will feel a different experience, and you notice you drink a more honest, more healthy, and more joyful product. And yeah, once you have that experience, then things start to change. So yeah, I agree with the statement you make regarding to that. Yeah, let's see where it goes.
When you start to drink this kind of wine, you will never go back.
Yes, exactly. It's a point of no return. Yeah, fantastic.
No return.
Okay, good. Okay, Walter.
Thank you, Marcel.
Thank you very much, and we hope to see you next time again. Okay, bye bye. Then we are okay. Then I would like to move on to Mocha. Hi, Mocha.
Hi, Marcel. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me well. Hi, everybody. And I'm just like counting all the participants. It's just nice to see that it's a growing community even today, right? There are more and more people joining us.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for watching again. That's really cool. Okay, Mocha, I have a few questions for you as well. What was actually a basic question most people get? What was the first thing you were thinking when you have been trying an orange wine?
Oh, I definitely remember. I thought there must definitely be something wrong with this wine, you know. But I'm a latecomer, like Andras explained very well, you know, all the characters joining this movie. I'm a latecomer in this story in general as well, because I came into the story of amber wines as a journalist when I first visited.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I am. Well, I can hear you very well. So basically, I came into the story as a journalist when I first visited Georgia. It was a few years ago, and I heard about the friendships, the special bonds that the Slovenian winemakers have with the Georgian one. But when I came to Georgia and I started to listen to the stories, and I met Zaza, a very famous clary maker, and through him, John Wunderman, and Jago, all these very famous winemakers in Georgia, I was really surprised how those guys are connected to my country, which is miles and miles away. And as a storyteller, I was really fascinated, and it made me really even more interested into those wines, which I knew a bit because Slovenia, or Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia, we were very lucky to try these wines from a very early stage on. But it was always, maybe it was too soon, you know. So I think it is. It has a lot to do with learning about these wines, learning to taste them, and to appreciate them. And I was very lucky that I could join this team because I had perfect, professors, the best I could really imagine. And the last trip together with them to Georgia was really unforgettable. And because I could really enjoy these wines through a totally different perspective.
Yeah, fascinating. Yeah, like you say, you need to learn to understand these wines. You need to have an open mind, be able to think, step outside of the box, and really.
Yes, and what is really interesting? It's like organic food. It has to be lifestyle. It has to be your lifestyle. And when you meet these winemakers, they're really very, very different characters. Everybody has like his own story, very specific and philosophy. And this is really amazing. It's really so different from all the other stories and the wines. And I really find it fascinating. And I hope, Andras, I just saw one version of this documentary, but it is really meant for everybody, not just people like Walter, Simon, the connoisseurs, but really people like me as well, who are just curious and really fascinated by all these stories. It's a documentary for a very, very wide audience. And I think it's a perfect opportunity to learn more about these wines.
Yeah, that's good to point out. It's not just for people who are totally natural wine, but it's for wine lovers in general. It's very interesting, even though you have a different focus, because these wines have so much to offer, and it's and they are made on such a in a high segment, on a high level, high quality wine. So there should be a wide audience for it. I agree. Yeah. You have been traveling a lot. You travel a lot. You are traveling right now. It's that's how it looks like.
I'm actually on vacation, so I have really lots of wine lovers here in the backside who want to join in this conversation. But yeah, I'm a travel journalist. I work for the national television over here in Slovenia, and as well, Georgia was always a country that. It's still surprising me. Simon pointed out, yes, the culture is different. Maybe the wine tasting we do is very different. But on the other hand, I was amazed how the geography is quite similar. They have the high mountains in the north, like Slovenia, in the south, the sea, in between, all these beautiful vineyards. So I think that we have a lot of things in common. And even while we were filming this documentary, a lot of beautiful memories. I will never forget how well Walter and Simon connected with the locals, even though there was this barrier, this language barrier, but wine is really connecting people. I had a pretty good chance as well, because Mojca, my name in Georgian language means like, hey, stop, slowly. So it was a good start. Yeah, slow down. But no, a lot of beautiful memories from the filming as well. And maybe one of the most precious ones is definitely when we visited Radikon. I think Andras is having his wine today. You're drinking Radikon, aren't you, Andras? Yes, you are.
Yeah, he's having a Yakko 2013. He's lucky today.
Exactly. And then imagine we had this amazing, it was a beautiful day. It was late summer when we visited Radikon, and then came this moment when Sasha opened a bottle of his father, who passed away not so long ago. And I think it was one of the first, it was one of the first like really amber wines of Stanko. So it was a very tense, a very unique, and because you don't know what to expect. It was a very special moment because this wine is so much, it's so alive, and when you open the bottle, it's really hard to tell what you're going to get, and it was really something very special. And I think this moment comes over very well in the documentary as well, all the emotions, and I think it's going to be something very, very special.
Yeah, I can totally understand what you say, and those radical wines make a lot of impact, and the story is really fascinating, which of course can already be read in Simon's book, and of course will be a big part of the documentary. So yeah, we look forward to that scene. It must be very very special. Well, I think actually we came to the end of the set of questions we had for you prepared. So for now, I would also like to thank you to participate tonight, and hopefully we will see you again in a future episode we're going to do. Oh,
maybe some questions.
Questions. I have no questions here anymore, and I think the audience are putting the questions in the comments of the Facebook event. Okay, maybe let's rephrase it. Is there anybody from the audience that has some questions for one of the people we have been interviewing today? Because you can comment that on Facebook, of course. Okay, well, we're actually waiting for the audience to write comments in the Facebook event. This is our first time we are doing this way, so we are a little bit fine-tuning the process, as you might notice. So being in control with the stream directors here. So we wait for your questions. We hope to answer them as soon as possible.
Or let's just have a glass of wine.
Yeah, that's always a good idea. Orange wine.
And here's to you, and here's to us, to the documentary. Andras, when will it be really ready? When can we see the final version?
I hope that till the end of the year. Because we are really, as I said, we have it's not an issue, but we cannot do everything in the house. So we need to go to the Kickstarter and
yes.
Thank God, Kickstarter.
Yes, Kickstarter. Tell everybody.
Yeah.
Kickstarter and donations, very important.
Yes.
Yeah, it's you know, not just for funding your movie or project, but also to promote it. You know, it's in September, I think. Kickstarter comes to Slovenia, so we will we can go through the process of founding, I think. So that's thumbs up.
Hey, I see a question from the audience, and that question is for everybody. Somebody is asking, what is everybody's favorite wine? Well, let's quickly answer that. I will start with myself. I think one of the most impressive orange wines I ever tasted was Radicon's Fiori del Tempo 2001, which Simon let me taste for the first time. Thank you for that again. And later I also tasted it while I was visiting Radicon, and there was I cannot think of an orange wine that actually went over that. So that's at the moment that's my favorite. Anybody else? What comes to mind? Your favorite orange wines?
Well,
it's really unfair. It's like answering the question, what's your favorite country when you travel, you know, when you're a traveler.
It's hard to pick
I would
one,
go, but definitely, like you said, Marcel, definitely Radicon, very high on the list. Grabner, of course, which is, he's a guru for everybody who loves these kind of wines. I love Iago as well, because it was the first orange wine I tasted in Georgia years ago. And it's like, really love to go back to the first ones, you know, the first one you never forget.
Yeah, cool. Andras, do you have another favorite orange wine except the Jacot 2013 you are drinking today?
Yes.
If you go to my Facebook account, I think in 2013, when I first encountered those wines at Orange Wine Festival in Isola, it was around 30 or 40 labels that are put that were really good, but it's like, you know, it is really old tradition. So, you know, this was the way that wine was made through the centuries, and it was really Joško Grauner, you know, with all those winemakers around him, who made this wine with the technology, you know, with the knowing how the grapes are made, or the harvest and the wine is made. They made these wines drinkable, and they, you know, teach next generations to do really good orange or amber wines. So it's now we're starting to, you know, there are lots of new producers that are really that really make really good orange or amber wines. So it's really hard to, you know, to choose on that. So it's, but on the other hand, you know, if you're Walter, you have a cellar with all those wines, and you go today. I think that we were talking, and he said, when I want to drink something light, I go to take Fedora, you know, pet nut. So we don't have these wines in our cellar, so you cannot buy these wines. So it's really, I think that when you go to a winemaker to taste this kind of wine, take a box of wine with you home, because you don't know if you could, you know, taste these wines or buy these wines. So it's strange word, you know, this natural amber wines. So it's quite nice.
Hey, we have actually, there was a question for everybody. You have a big answer, so I'm going to give the same question to Simon now. Simon, can you maybe also tell the audience what your favorite orange wine is?
Wow, yeah, it's as Moitza says, it's an impossible question, and my answer to this question changes almost on a daily basis, I think. I mean, of course, I love the classics, and I do consider Radikon or Gravno, or the pivettes. I would have to mention Dario Puncic. These are all wines that I come back to again and again. But what I love about this world of orange wine is that it's developing so fast, and there are so many producers popping up here, there, and everywhere. So if I think of favorites that I've discovered more recently, I would definitely say Heinrich in Austria is making some absolutely sensational orange wines. Probably I ought to be reading off some names from Australia or New Zealand too. Supernatural wines in New Zealand have made an absolutely amazing skin contact Sauvignon Blanc. So yeah, it's very difficult to pick a favorite, and I think for me, it as well, the orange wines are so varied. You know, some of them are lighter, some of them are more aromatic, some of them are really heavy and structured. So there's really a wine to suit every occasion, and I couldn't possibly pick just one favorite. I could pick 10 maybe.
Yeah. No, the question was only one. So
okay,
but
impossible.
Yeah, that's impossible. I actually also have to agree. I mentioned one, but of course there are so many icons at the moment, and
I will mention actually. Sorry, just to give a mention to a lesser known producer that I think deserves a bit more of a mention, and that's Blazic. So Blazic is a producer in Gushkebirde, and I think some of their Bulla is really amazing. It's really up there with the best. So yeah, I'm putting my thumb up for Blazic. Really great wines.
Yeah. I know them. Okay, I think we get a lot of questions, so we're going to move on a little bit. Walter, can you maybe also give some input of what your favorite orange wine is at the moment, or in general, or maybe you have a few?
Okay, thank you. Not my philosophy, but of my experience of these many years, is very difficult which one was the best, because we taste them really every day, a lot of them, and every day some of them surprise me too much. I respect the wine producers who make really with the heart wine, not for commercial way. and it's very, very difficult to say which one is the best. So I have many really good producers, friends in Austria, in Italy, in France, in Georgia now, in Croatia. So every time something surprised me a lot, big surprise. And the level of this a little wild ones, I can say, a little wild ones. Sometimes you prefer more one, sometimes you prefer more other. But the most important is when I travel around the world in one area, in one terroir, which can be, I don't know, La Burgundia or Alsacia or Burgenland. I want to taste something the best from that landscape, and they have to explain me everything. So believe me, I tasted thousands and thousands of the skin contact wines. A lot of them, they are fake, but mostly of them I taste, there was very good level, and 10% or 5% of everything I tasted, it was amazing. I really, in this moment, I cannot explain which one it was the best.
Yeah.
Also from Adelaide Hill, from Australia, which Simon said, I was so surprised there, to Loire in France, to everywhere. So if you travel, you find, and if you taste, you find a really amazing bottle everywhere.
Yeah, and that's also something that keeps you going, because there are so many amazing surprises. You always actually want to know what's around the next corner.
Yes, exactly. And this, you know, this is not competition. It's not what it was better. It's just a pleasure of that moment when you drink, and you know, then you drink something really clear and pure. This I like, and this I respect of all the producers. Many years ago, I was crazy of the Azzi Urbais, what he did. I was so surprised of his wine because there was every moment. So it was big pleasure to drink them. We know the Nyoshko and Stanko, that time there was a perfection, but when you find this new one and they have 10 barrels, and from 10 barrels you find 2 barrels which are the best of the world. So which one is the best? You cannot say which one is the best. That time was the best bed barrel for me. Then in 10 days when I was to visit another wine producers, it was the best another one. So it's difficult to say.
I totally agree. There's no one favorite, and it's always changing, and therefore it stays always exciting. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Walter, thank you. We have a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to move to another question. There's a question from Meredith about the wine list, and I think Simon would like to answer that.
Yeah, sure. I think it's an interesting question. So yeah, what the question was, do you think amber wines will become more common on restaurant wine lists? I guess what I just want to say is even in the 10 years that I've been enjoying these wines, they've become so much more common. I mean, if I think about here in Amsterdam or in London, 10 years ago, I really would have had a problem knowing where to go to find an orange wine. Even in London, probably I'd have been looking at 5 or 6 restaurants, absolute maximum, where I could have a choice of even 2 or 3 wines, and now it must be in the hundreds. Here in Amsterdam, I moved here 6 years ago, and there was almost nowhere that you could drink natural wines or orange wines, and now we're spoilt for choice, I think. So people have really caught on to these wines, and we are seeing them a lot more. But I think that there is a difficulty, and the difficulty is that people don't always call them orange wines. So if you don't know the name of the producer, or you don't know which wine they make is an orange wine, sometimes on a restaurant wine list, they're in the white wine section. So unless you have a sommelier who's at your table and telling you what's on their list, it can be a bit challenging. So I'm actually fighting for a separate orange wine section on every restaurant wine list. That's my dream, really, and I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, that's well pointed out. Cool. Thanks, Simon, for that input. Let's see. There's like one last question from Edita, and if you don't mind, I'm going to give the question to Walter, because Edita is asking, do you think amber wines deserve a special shape of glass? So how do you deal with that in the restaurant?
Yes, is the story, because the classical wine from the conventional, the classical glasses for conventional wine, they have to explain also to put out the perfume, the taste, everything what is in that moment. But the amber wine and the macerated wine, because completely another story. This is very closest to the land. They are like something what you need to touch in your hand. So many glasses can be very round, and it's not important so much all the what you find in the nose and the smells and everything, but I see everything more in the taste. So the wine cannot be too much cold. You can warm up in the hand, and the glasses are much more round, very close, and where you can touch with the hands, no, and to drink them with the pleasure. I find much more on the skin contact wines. I find much more taste and what the energy come into your body, more than these special perfumes like the sommelier say. This is like vanilla. This is like that. No, it's completely another word. So the glass can be important, yeah, but nothing, not big glasses, not special glasses, just a beautiful round glass where you can touch with the hands and drink them.
Yeah, stay in close contact with the wine, basically. Yeah, to have a perfect vessel for that.
Because the wine is basically from the land, and if you don't touch them and if you don't correct them, also the wine have to come to your hands and to drink them with this hand pleasure came to you, no? Yeah. Because if you just drink, you can drink like this, but when you touch something what is 100% nature is completely different.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Of course, go ahead, please.
No, it's about these glasses. We have a special place for this topic in our documentary. So about how the glasses are made and why you have glasses with long neck and without to drink it, So you should watch. This was the question from Edita.
Yeah.
So we will answer also this question in the documentary.
That's nicely put, Andras. That's actually another answer on that question is watch the documentary, because there's a whole section about glasses and how they perform best for these types of wines. So yeah, pretty cool. I think it's time to wrap up, everybody. So
yeah, Moitza already needed to go. So
yeah, she had to go. She was having other things to do on her vacation trip. So maybe we see her again on the next episode.
She went swimming, I think.
Yeah, in the swimming pool.
She's swimming already. Or she took the bottle of wine, I think.
Yeah. Hey, okay, everybody, let's try to wrap it up. I would like to thank our audience for watching. We hope to see you again soon in one of the future live streams that are going to be made and will be broadcasted in this same fashion. We would like to ask you to follow us on social media so you can see the updates about upcoming episodes. And again, I would like to mention, please check out the website, coloredamber.com, and maybe if you want to donate to help to finish the project, that would be very much appreciated. So actually, that's everything from my side. I would like to thank everybody again today in the stream, Andras, Simon, Walter, Mocha. And let's see what the next episode is going to be about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.